Oats on the Daily Dozen. Today we are doing whole grains, and I just realized I don't have my light on. Oh well, it's going to be a little dark today, sorry, and a little bit of a rush. But I wanted to get here before it's too late. So today we're going to do whole grains, so we're towards the end. After today we just have beverages and exercise. So this is the last actual food item. So whole grains, so some examples of whole grains, but they're not exclusive. And some of my favorites are barley, brown rice. I eat a lot of rice, so brown rice, wild rice, purple rice, red rice. There are so many types of rices out there. Buckwheat. Buckwheat is not wheat. It's actually a seed. Buckwheat corn, so corn on the cob. Farro is one of my absolute favorites. It's used a lot in Italian cooking. I love it. Other ones, millet, oats, popcorn, quinoa, whole wheat pasta. There are so many choices. The serving sizes is a half a cup of hot cereal or cooked grains. Pasta, half a cup of pasta is a serving size. So surprise, surprise. Or corn kernels, cooked, either canned or frozen or on the corn on the cob. A cup of cold cereal, one whole grain tortilla or slice of bread, half a bagel or English muffin, or 3 cups of popcorn. And the daily recommendations are 3 servings a day. So why? So first of all, it's important to note that this is for whole grains and not refined grains. So whole wheat, oats, brown rice are the most common ones that you see kind of around. They decrease your risk of chronic disease, but refined grains such as white rice, white flour, etc. actually increase your risk. So white rice, for example, was associated with a 17% a greater risk of diabetes, while replacing the white rice with brown rice led to a 16% drop in risk. So this is about whole grains. So, and this is really consistent with recommendations from leading heart disease and cancer authorities. The American Heart Association, the American Cancer Society all recommend whole grains. There were 2 gigantic studies, the Nurses' Health Study and the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study. There's like millions of patient hours of data points. So this, in a 2015 analysis, found that people who eat more whole grains tend to live significantly longer lives, independent of other risk factors, independent of how much they exercise, whether they smoke or whatnot. So of the many things that they do, whole grains appear to reduce the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, colon cancer, and stroke. So really big ones, right? Things we want to avoid. Also been shown that there is a reduction in progression of arterial disease among those who regularly eat whole grains. There's a lot of data on blood pressure. So blood pressure on average, if you take a blood pressure medication, these medications reduce the risk of heart attack by about 15% and stroke by 25%. So not big, significant, but in a randomized controlled trial, 3 servings of whole grains were actually able to achieve the same effect. So instead of taking those without all the horrible side effects that you get from the medications, you have electrolyte disturbances, they can hurt your kidneys, you can get swelling, could go on and on and on. I teach pharmacology, so I could go on and on about those. But 3 servings of whole grains a day were able to achieve the same effect as the medication, so let's do that instead. And it's probably less expensive. So whole grains really reduce inflammatory markers around their body, and that's part of how it exerts their improvement. So each daily serving decreases the C-reactive protein. So C-reactive protein is one of the more well-known markers of inflammation. Higher C-reactive protein levels are higher risk for heart disease. But each serving of a whole grain decreases your CRP by up to 7% per serving. So that's just remarkable. So 21% just by a day if you eat 3 servings. So one study actually focused specifically on liver inflammation, and that showed a reduction in liver inflammation of the liver with daily oatmeal consumption. So oatmeal kind of has a special class. So oats have a unique class of anti-inflammatory compounds. So that's one of the reasons why I try to have a servings of oats every day, as often as I can think about it. So what about those who have celiac or gluten sensitivity? So this could be a controversial topic, but I won't get into all the science on it. But real celiac disease is about 1% of the population, so a very low percentage. So for people who have real celiac disease, quinoa is a great choice. Oats, just make sure they're not made in the same factory, so gluten-free oats. Despite its name, buckwheat is a grain-like seed that's unrelated to wheat and gluten-free. Corn, teff, amaranth, brown rice, wild rice, millet. So quinoa, corn, and rice or brown rice are the ones that are more common for people who have true celiac disease. So you want to try when you're picking your whole grains, as I've said about fruits and vegetables, things that are deeper in color, the brighter the color, the more the health benefit. So you can get colored rice. So like I said, I have in my closet, in my pantry right now, I've got purple rice, red rice, and wild rice. Wild rice, which actually isn't a rice at all, but that's a whole nother story. And black rice, which is also known as forbidden rice, has as much, if not more, antioxidant power than blueberries. And really have shown, these colorful rices have shown they have an anti-allergy effect. So if you feel like you have bad seasonal allergies, this can help with that. So when you're shopping, other than just whole grains, so if you're buying rice or oatmeal, but you're getting something packaged, try to look for the 5-to-1 rule. So this is for packaged whole grains like cereals or breads, etc. So what you want to do is you want to look at the package. You can't go by if the label says whole grain or 7 grain. They'll put stuff in there that makes white bread look brown, like raisin concentrate. So you want to look at the total carbohydrates. So there's several different ratios that people use, but this is the one that I think is the more lenient. So look at the total carbohydrates and then the grams of fiber. So you want that ratio to be 5 or less. So example, so if you have a loaf of bread or something and it says it's 30 grams of carbs per slice and 3 grams of fiber, so you divide 30 by 3. 30 by 3 is 10, and so that ratio is greater than 5, so you would want to put that back on the shelf. But like Ezekiel bread, which is the one of the few breads that I eat, it's 15 grams of carbs and 3 grams of fiber, so that's 5. So it's right there. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So you know right away that that's good. So the ways that I generally get whole grains into my daily diet are I will have oatmeal for breakfast. Often, I have other things. You've seen the other things that I eat. Oatmeal for breakfast, or the baked oatmeal that I have throughout the day. I will make a big batch in my Instapot of some sort of rice or quinoa or something and have it in the fridge, and I'll put a half a cup of that on my salad at lunch. They get mixed in a lot to my burgers. So the beet burger, the black bean burger, all have either rice or oats in them. So that's what kind of holds them together. And then dinner, so stir fries over rice, whole wheat pasta with veggies. So it's pretty easy to get the 3 servings in a day. Actually, the oatmeal, when I have a cup of oatmeal, that's 2 servings right there for breakfast. So get that out of the way. So that is whole grains. If you have any favorite whole grains, I'd love to know. Like farro is one of my absolute favorites. So I should put together a farro recipe. But if you have favorite whole grains, put them in the comments. If you have any great recipes to share, put them there. Or just any questions, and we'll all learn from each other. That's it for today. I hope everyone's having a great day, and I will see you tomorrow for beverages.